Well, that's an 11-month-old baby who you heard crying there, who has died after she was allegedly mistreated by the woman you see in the video, a 54-year-old caregiver. Her name is Clara Ayani Ampa, who is now a suspect. She was picked up after management of the Happy Bloomers Creche at Agbogba made available this video surveillance. This surveillance video fitted in the room where the disturbing act took place to the police. Allegra Yaba Akamensa was pronounced dead at the North Legon Hospital, where managers of the creche rushed her. Subsequently, the parent of the victim lodged a complaint of the circumstances. Now, that video you see there, we've had to shorten it because just after it ends here, she goes into the room and subsequently returns, and it looks as if she had tried to give the baby some food in the cup, and the baby had poured it over. So she comes back, she cleans it up. She goes in there, she comes back, she cleans it up, and then she comes back with a cup of food, and she tries to force it down the baby's throat. She holds the baby's hands behind the baby and force feeds her, essentially pushing the baby's face into the cup. The baby is screaming, obviously suffocating, and subsequently was taken to the hospital but died. DSP Fiatenge speaks for the Accra Police and his Accra Region Police, and she's joining us with details of what has happened. Thank you very much for your time, DSP Fiatenge. Please give us an update of this case.
Yes, thank you very much, DSP. This morning, the Aboko Police went the lady, that is the suspect in this case. They put the lady before court this morning, and she has been remanded into police custody until the 11th of June when she reappears. Again, the police has also forwarded the docket involving this very disturbing act to the Attorney General for advice on how to go about this case. So that is the update the police can give now.
I'm sure you are yourself a mother. I'm not sure that you have seen the video. It's very difficult for anybody to watch. A lot of people find it very difficult to. I personally have not been able to watch through and through. My colleagues in the newsroom have not as well. But this is certainly, as police, a story that may be familiar to you. Is it? What do you say?
This is well. Let me get the last part of your question.
I'm actually just trying to have a conversation with you as a female officer. I assume that this is a story that you may have come across a few times. Does it happen a lot in your practice?
Yes, in fact, some of us, we watched this video yesterday and we could not sleep until this morning. It is actually very horrific, very terrifying to some of us. The extent that we could not complete the video. We hear of some of these cases elsewhere in other parts of maybe Africa, but to realize that it happens here at our backyard, it is quite worrying. We know that sometimes while we receive reports of children being abused and whatnot, I think it is for one of these reasons why the schools in particular have to do some installation so that they could monitor activities of caregivers who have been employed to take care of children. But to see the manner increase, very vulnerable, innocent child has gone through the hand of this Lady Clara is quite very disturbing. For us as a law enforcement agency, we will do what we have to do per the law. And as I indicated, we will do proper investigations into it. And even the autopsy of the child has already been done. And so we are on the right track. We will also wait for the agency to study the docket based on all available facts that we have been able to gather, and then they will advise the police on the next line of action to take.
Okay.
But it is really worrying.
Yeah. I will end this conversation by asking you for some kind of advice for parents. I mean, life in Accra, life everywhere is hard, and people some way somehow have to look for people to take care of their children. We'll end the conversation with that. But just a quick one. She was on what charges was she taken to court today? Is that information available now?
Yes, we preferred causing harm to the suspect, and once a life has been lost in this case, any case involving the death of a human being, we need to forward the docket the case. So that is why the police have forwarded the docket the case. The police declared a charge of causing harm for the suspect in this case.
Okay. And the autopsy that you said has been conducted, do we have details of how this baby died?
Yes, we done the autopsy. And usually the outcome of the autopsy is given to the family. And secondly, it is also for police to do proper or to help us prosecute the case. So for that one, it is not so good for public consumption. But I can assure you that autopsy on that case has been received, it has been done, and the report has been received. And that has also been included in the fact that added for AG to study all that and advise them. But it is not so appropriate that put the outcome of the autopsy report to the public domain.
Very well understood. We'll wait and see what the AG's advice is. But let's take the police's advice. Like I said, and we had this conversation among my colleagues today about how important it is to get somebody to take care of your children, because you have to work and because you have other commitments as well. Of course, our children are our priority, but some way, somehow, we have to leave them. What advice can you give from, your experience with some of these cases, etc., to parents? Yes, I'm asking for...
Hello?
Yes. Can you hear me, DSP Fiatenge? Yes.
Hello?
I do hear you.
Yes, it's better.
Okay.
Were you asking a question?
Yes, I was wrapping up our conversation with some sort of advice, and I was saying that it's imperative for us to, look for people to take care of our children, because life happens and we have to move on and go and work, etc. Even though children are our priorities, we can't always be there. What advice can you give in terms of protecting them and the security of our children?
Yes, for the advice, I think that there is no love like that of the mother. And as a woman, I would have wished that women stay, especially nursing mothers, stay at home and take care of their own children. Because I am not sure nowadays you can trust who you leave your children with. We've had a number of disturbing issues, and even sometimes some of them are even caused by the mothers themselves. So this is not only to say that, yes, it is only people who are caregivers that sometimes maltreat children. But looking at how life is now, women are in the working group, working to make sure that they earn something. And it is very difficult to say that you want to stay at home without going to work. So maybe, first of all, some of these installation of the CCTV, where periodically we can monitor the activities of our caregivers wherever we are, not necessarily taking them and coming back to watch them, but rather intermittently a system where wherever we are, we'll be able to open what is happening within our home or wherever the children are, and also watch what is going on. I've also come across institutions where they have established kind of a daycare right in the offices, where mothers come to work with their children, and they bring their children to school then at the daycare there, so that from time to time they'll be able to check on their children. Then again, sometimes we also need to be listening to their instincts. Sometimes children need some indication. Sometimes we are sending children somewhere, and you can see that some of them will be crying, telling us that they do not want to go. They are not comfortable with these persons, but probably they will not be able to say them, voice them out by hearing. Some of these things must also be taken care of.
Okay.
Then I also plead with management and also some of our employers that if there is anything that concerns our children, if our children are not safe, we are equally not safe, and we can equally not also be at peace in our places of work. And so if there are any issues concerning our children, I think that we should be given the permission to be able to go and attend to them and not think or assume that we are trying to come up with plenty excuses to be able to stay out of work. Because it is very, very important that we extend love and care to the very children that God has blessed us. Because some of these things are very disturbing. Then the people we also recruit, the people we employ to take care of our children, please, if we get referral, it is also important. Sometimes some of these people, they are frustrated. So they bring their frustration, they vent their anger on the children. And so some of these things must also be looked at. And just make sure. There are times when people have actually gone to the extent of employing two people, like two caregivers for the children, so that it doesn't look like one person is doing so.
It's overwhelmed.
We can do it ourselves. But once we are not there, we should make sure that we create the living environment. Because taking care of children as a mother is not even easy by yourself. How much somebody who did not give birth to that child. So if we are doing so, sometimes let us not look at the cost, but we can also employ one or two people so that one keeps an eye on what the other is doing, and also the person that's already does not become overwhelmed of the stress that usually come along with taking care of a child, because it is not easy, it is not child's play, and we should be able to support each other so that we can get out of it.
That's a very comprehensive advice, I must say. A bit more beyond policing advice, I must say, but very good one. This is a very sad story, and I hope that we'll get to the bottom of this and wish the family strength so that they can deal with this as well. But DSP, if you think just a quick one before you go, what are the possibilities, or what possible sanctions will there be looking at the charge upon which she was taken to court today? What are the sanctions in the law?
Yes, if you look at that is the section 69, which is the causing harm, which the police prefer. That one alone is a second-degree felony, and I believe that the lawyers can help us on the possible penalties or sentences that a person who commits such a crime would be given. And for now, I think that when they do the proper study of the docket, all these also come, the proper direction on how it will come. But if you look at the corporate camp, then it means that the second-degree felony, it comes with its own punishment.
Okay. Thank you very much, DSP Fiatenge. DSP Fiatenge, she speaks for the Accra Region Police. So, the lady in question in that video that you saw is the caretaker at a crèche where a baby sitting right here in this chair, this baby chair, has died. She died after she was taken to the hospital. She was pronounced dead on arrival. She, as you can see here there, has been charged with causing harm right now, but the docket has been forwarded to the Attorney General for advice as we go along. She's been remanded in police custody.